What's up guys, GK here with Corbin's Archery. Today, Alpha AX 232, one of the new aluminums that Hoyt has dropped for 2025. The specs caught my eye on this bow. It is going to be a 32 and 5/16 inch axle to axle. I think it's a great number, anywhere from 31.5 to 33. It always has my interest there. 6.5 inch brace height. You're looking at 4.5 pounds physical weight, so a little bit lighter, but still has that 4.5 pound mark. 40 to 80 pound limb options available on this bow, and it's going to range from 26 to 31 inch draw. Price point, Hoyt has increased their price this year to $15.50 bare bow for this bow here. Again, bare bow with the short stab, which is also new for 2025. We're gonna get a physical weight, talk about some of the features, measure out some specs, and just kind of review the bow itself. So let's dive in right away to the new things they've added and changed to their flagship aluminum this year. Besides cutting some weight and adding a new cam, the Gen 4 cam, which is on their shorter aluminum and their carbons, that Gen 4 cam has been designed to have a little bit more speed. We have a new mod system where you can still adjust your let-off settings from 75 to 85%. You can adjust your back wall, firmer, softer, however you like that. A couple more mods this year because their mods are only going to adjust 3/4 of an inch in adjustment. For example, 28.25 to 29. That's the only adjustment range you'll get out of this mod, for example. You can still adjust your mod 1/4 of an inch, however. So if you're in between 28.5 to 29, you can hit that 28 3/4 mark. So you can still adjust that there. We have some patent expires, so you're seeing a lot more split yoke systems on these bows. As mentioned, the new short stab up front. Still can run your pick mount, your integrated rest, all that good stuff there. They didn't change anything with the spacers and the tunability. They did add a information chart on their website that kind of tells you which spacers should go where based on your tears and stuff like that. Again, if you're set up properly with the correct spine, tuning should be a lot easier, but you will still have to have a press to tune this bow. You have to take the axle assembly out, add the spacers. Something they didn't change that we're seeing a lot of companies do now is the self-tunability without a bow press. But if you have a press, if you're a guy that likes to work on your own stuff, or you can come see us, you know, we have a press obviously, and happy to shift those around and get you tuned up the right way. Let's hit the physical weight, get some measurements, get a speed on it, and go from there. Looking at 4.5 pounds on the physical, 0.2 to 0.3 for the short stab, 0.2 for the rest. I'm going to guess this is going to be 4.9 to 5 pounds with that stuff on it, which should equal 4.5 if I took it off. 4.8 to 4.9, okay. Definitely 4.5 pounds there, which is solid. Let's get some measurements on axle to axle and brace heights. Tape measure here, looking for 32 and 5/16. We'll go from center of this axle screw to the other center. Still a little over. I'm getting 32.5 to center there. So I'm seeing a couple of their bows this year come longer on the axle to axle measurement, which is fine. A little bit more forgiving, but they're advertising a little bit shorter, so just keep that in mind. So 32.5 inch axle to axle there. Looking for 6.5 on the brace. 6.5 on the brace, maybe just a tick over, but I think that's close enough to 6.5 on the brace height there. Failed to mention this is one of their slower speed bows this year. 336 feet a second IBO. A little bit slower than their 29 and both of their carbons, even their Ultra, which is a longer axle to axle. A little bit slower IBO. Not sure why that is, but still a good respectable speed. 336 is a solid speed. You can obviously get it all done with that. We're seeing a lot more bows now over the 340 mark, however. So something to keep in mind, 336 IBO. Let's see if we're pulling 70. Then we can run back to the range and shoot a few and talk about it. 70 pounds, let's see where we're at. That one didn't read. That one is 69.9, so that's pretty close. Good, close enough for me. All right, we got this set at 29 inches, 70 pounds. Let's go to the range and shoot a few. Then we'll talk about draw cycle and then wrap up the AX2 32. Let's go. All right, we have the AX2 32, 29 inches, 70 pounds, 450 grain arrow. This bow IBO's at 336, so if I was a betting man, I would guess our speed average is going to be 286 to 287 with this setup. Let's shoot it. .285.7. Okay, we're close. Let's shoot another one. 285.7, so we could call that 286 if we want to round her up. .286.5, that's about right. Let's do one more. .285.8, so that's a 286 average. Pretty good guess. Shoot enough of these bows, you can kind of figure that out in your head. But 286, good respectable speed. It is noticeably a few feet a second slower than their other bows they dropped this year. Let's shoot a few, talk about the draw cycle, and we can kind of talk about why that is. I do like the specs of this bow. A heavier bow is going to be a little bit quieter, a little bit more stable, especially in the wind. Do like how that feels. I have been a fan of heavier bows and longer axles in the past just because they hold so good and they're a little bit quieter. Yeah, you sacrifice a little bit of speed, but I'd rather hit where I'm aiming than getting it there a little bit quicker, personally. Let's talk about the draw cycle. By far, and this is my opinion, so whatever y'all want to take that with, by far the smoothest draw cycle out of the 4 this year. Quietness, it's pretty dang quiet. I put it up there with the RX-9 as far as sound. You feel that string stop. It's not as, when I say aggressive, don't take that the wrong way, but it's not as aggressive and as the AX229. The 29 is going to be a little bit more aggressive and stiffer just because it is shorter axle to axle. But definitely a lot smoother, and that's probably why we're only seeing 285 to 286 out of it. That draw cycle is pretty solid. I like that. Yep. So, pretty dead, pretty darn quiet. My favorite draw cycle out of all 4 Hoyts this year, but you do sacrifice some speed when you go for a smoother draw cycle. It's still a continuous pull. It doesn't dip down like previous Hoyts, but definitely smoother. Not sure why that is, if it's the aluminum, if it's the spec, or what. I would figure the Ultra would be smoother since it's a longer axle to axle, but it's on a carbon frame, carbon riser. So I don't know. Definitely smoother though, but you're losing at least 4 feet a second IBO compared to the other models. So something to think about, but definitely like the 32's draw cycle. Really stiff, really solid back wall. This bow probably has the most noticeable best back wall out of the 4, in my opinion. Again, guys, go shoot them, go compare them side by side. But pretty impressed with the 32 all in all. Still getting a good speed out of it, 286-ish average. So pretty solid speed for a 450 grain arrow, 29 inches, 70 pounds. So let's go in there and wrap up the AX2 32. All right, guys, that was the AX2 32 from Hoyt this year. Really like the draw cycle. Yeah, we lost a little bit of speed comparatively to their other 2025 flagship bows, but solid frame, solid spec. I like how that bow feels. I like the spec of this bow. Anything that's in between 31.5, 33, I think is money. But again, that's my personal preference. Guys, the only way y'all can tell how these bows feels is to go shoot them in person. Reviews can only do so much. It can just kind of get the wheels turning in the brain of what you might be interested in. So just something to think about. We like to do these reviews so we can get our information out there, especially when we can kind of tell you what one draw cycle feels comparatively to another. You can kind of understand, especially if you watch enough videos, you can kind of get what we're talking about there. But again, the most accurate review is going to be from you guys. Y'all are going to be the one shooting them. Y'all are going to be the one telling us what you like, dislike, all that stuff. So please go to your nearest shop or come see us. We'd love to meet you guys. love to have you at either one of our locations and come shoot the new bows and compare them side by side. So really excited. There are tons of good bows this year. I mean, I thought there were some good ones last year, even more so this year. This is getting insane. It's hard to choose, hard to have one, which is a problem. So yeah, come by, come check them out. This has been the AX232 from Hoyt. Solid flagship aluminum bow there. $15.50 on the price point. Covers a pretty good draw length range of 26 to 31 inches. 40 to 80 pound limb options available. Still a respectable speed out of a good aluminum. Might be the best stock grip in the game. I love their contoured grip. Can't talk highly enough about it. Still run the pick, still run the integrated rest, all that good stuff. So if y'all need anything, just give the shops a call. We'd love to see you again. Come by the shops, come meet us, come hang out, come shoot some bows and tell us about some hunts and all that cool stuff. So that has been the Hoyt Alpha AX232 bow review. If you guys need anything, don't hesitate. We really appreciate you guys' support, and we wish y'all the best of luck this season. And if y'all need anything, just holler. Thanks, guys.